Hello, welcome back to Retro Ginger. So today we're going to do a little bit of archaeology on whatever the hell this is. It's dirty, very dirty. I'm not sure what it is. It's tiny. There's a couple of what looked like 3.5-inch discs on the front, a very cute little monitor with a lot of burn-in. And we look on the side, not much to see there. On the back, just more dirt and grime. Oh dear, this is disgusting. There is a sticker there. Great typist. I think it might be a word processor. There's one single connector, which is a 15-pin D. Don't know what that's for. And some wires and stuff that go to the monitor. A couple of wires that go to the monitor. Yep. And that's about it. Oh, there is a sticker on the side. Summer of '89. No one outshines us for value. And it says here, what is that? Something Horizon. Something Horizon. Don't think it's the post office system. I think this is, a word processor. I wonder if this stuff comes off. Oh dear, yeah, this is going to need a serious, serious clean. I don't know what's going on with this. Now, I only have this bit. If it's a word processor, it will need a keyboard. I don't have that. Oh, a little switch there. That's quite cute. And controls for the, I guess, for the brightness and oh, that's all. Oh, it just about moves. My goodness. I don't know how long this has been outside, or in a shed, or in a loft. It has that unloved quality about it. Let me just grab another bit of tissue. So I don't know whether this is viable, but I do want to, at the very least, take it to pieces and try and figure out what's going on with it. So yeah, let's just make some notes. Great typist. That's the only thing I can really see on there for any kind of identification marks or anything. It's not heavy, but it's not that light either. Let's see what's going on underneath. Okay, not much. There's a couple of screws there. Oh, I see. I think actually, yeah, there's a power socket under the monitor. That's weird. So maybe that 15-pin D is only for the keyboard. That's interesting. Right. I wonder how you open it up. Let's gently put it that way. These are really old plastics, so there's always a chance you're going to break stuff. So let's get this. Let's get these screws off at the bottom and see whether we can see anything. Whoops. Okay, I'm going to grab a tin. That, oh, the back feels a bit wobbly now. That's interesting. Okay. Oh yeah, that whole thing's coming off. Oh my goodness. Oh right, okay. Here we go. Ugh. So this hasn't been opened probably forever, so there's no mice and stuff in there. Okay. Oh my goodness. Right. Well, there's a board. And that is on a ribbon cable, so that, I guess, as I say, I reckon that's probably the keyboard connector. Maybe that's interesting. That looks like a composite video input. So this could be a composite monitor, and this thing here is probably the power. Yeah. So weirdly, the power supply looks like it's inside the monitor, which is very odd. So if I, oh, that's all moving around. Whoa, yeah. Hang on, tell you what, let's see if we can gently pull that off. Oh, there's quite a bit of corrosion on there. Oh, look at that, that's not great. Okay, let's do that. So maybe this comes off. It looks like it, yeah. Okay, so this looks like the power connector, and then this is the, oh, the whole board comes out. All right, let me get the, oh dear, I might need to just turn this a bit to release it. 1 second. Yeah, just try and release that a bit. There we go. Yeah, so that's probably a composite video output from the board. So I think actually that is now free from there. Free in quotes. This looks like that's the power connector for the floppies at the front. Everything's socketed. I'm not sure whether you can see that. All the sockets are blue. All the ICs are all in blue sockets. Isn't that nice? Wow. Okay, so let's gently try and get this off. It looks to be, dare I say, a fairly standard floppy connector, but I've been fooled before. I'm going to have to gently, very, very gently do this. Yeah. Just want to just move that a little bit and then see if we can pull that off. I don't think I'm going to be able to get this out of, get this board out without. Ooh, yeah. Okay, I'm going to have to find a spudger or something to see if I can release that. Okay, and of course I can't find a spudger, but I do have this. This might work. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, full of corrosion, that is. Oh dear, that's not good. Okay, so the board is coming out. Right, so let's zoom in a bit. Let's go down with my squeaky thing. That's better. You can see in the guts of it. You see all those blue IC sockets. That's remarkable. Okay, let's get these cables out of the way a little bit. And pull the board comes straight out. Oh, that's amazing. That is amazing. Right, okay, so let's just move this out. It's right in the way. Let's move this out there. So that's the board. Let's put it there. Okay, interesting. Very interesting. Right, I'm going to grab my magnifying thingies and have a look. So what have we got then? Any markings? So let's zoom down and have a look at that. What a clean board. That's amazing. Okay, OEM Screen Typer 3. OEM Screen Typer yep, 3. So that's what it is. That's good to know. So we've got an FDC 9797. That's the floppy controller. We've got a Motorola 6845P, which I think is an I/O controller of some kind. We got a Z80. Ah, I knew it was. Okay, so it's a Z80 CPU. Cool. And something else there. That is probably, I'm not even sure what that is actually. SCN 2661A. Not sure what that is. An I/O controller maybe. So you've got a couple of ROMs there. Interesting. Yeah, and some memory. So I guess that is probably So MSM 2128. So I bet you maybe it's 128k. Or sorry, there's two of them. Maybe it's 256k. Maybe. Could be. There's also some other chips here. 3764. That is also memory. So yeah, two lots of memory maybe. Maybe that's for a cache or something. I'm not sure. Anyway, I can't believe that's all in sockets. That's brilliant. That's really impressive. Okay, so the Z80, this chip here, that is a MOSTEC device. Yeah, there's actually three separate crystals. And there's no markings on there, so I'm not sure what it's being run at. You know, speed-wise, no idea. But I love the little capacitors. All these little decoupling capacitors. They're really cute little packages. That's great. So what else we got? Most of it looks like 74LS logic of some kind. All sort of smattering of that. There's quite a lot of that actually. All sorts of different types. Anything else custom? That looks interesting. What's that? TBP. What does that say? 18503N. 18. What did I say? 503ON. Weird. I don't know what that is. So more 74LS, more 74LS. That's a weird one. Not sure what that is. So let's write down these other chips here. I guess they're memory. So M3764-20RS. Interesting. So notice there's also an expansion port down there. So I just move that around so you can actually see what I'm pointing at. So yeah, there's an expansion, what looks like an expansion port there for some reason. I don't know what that's for. Anything on the back of this? Nothing really. The board looks in really, really good condition. The only worry is that these connectors are very, very crusty. But I don't know whether that is corrosion or some, I don't know, some water damage or something. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the plastics breaking down. It's difficult to tell. The actual board itself, as I say, looks in really good condition. Cleaned up, a bit of contact cleaner, isopropyl alcohol, contact cleaner, a brush. It might come up all right, but I don't know what the voltage levels are. So, according to this, there are, well, probably only 2 voltage levels. I bet you it's 5 volts and 12 volts. I can probably take a pretty good guess as to what's what. So even if this other bit doesn't work, we might be able to power it up at least. What I'd have to do is try and figure out the pin out for the keyboard connector and see whether it's possible to get it working. Wow, what an amazing thing. That is really cool. I'm blown away by that. That's great. Lovely bit of engineering. Okay, so that's that bit. Let's move this stuff out of the way a little bit. It's completely ruined my desk. It's now full of goodness knows what. Okay, so this is the. Oh my god! The whole thing comes out. Right, hang on. Let's move this. Let's move the tripod back a little bit because there should be some music really whilst this is. The whole thing just slides out. Okay, fine. Okay, didn't expect that. So the whole thing slides out. So Horizon 78, what's that? Horizon 1787. Okay. Yeah, okay, that's cool. Let's find a disc. Any old disc and just see what it sounds like. Ooh, right, yeah, it's a bit raunchy. And if you come out, probably just needs lubricating. Yeah. Maybe the spring is sort of a bit old, maybe, but interesting. Nice module. I'm tempted to. Oh, is that? For a minute there, I thought they were rivets, and I don't like rivets. Okay, it's not. Okay, let's take the top of this off just to have a look. I can't help myself. I'm going to have to take it off. Sorry, I'm getting too excited. Just curious as to what these floppy disks are, because I'm pretty sure that is a standard 34-way connector. Doesn't always mean that the disks are compatible with anything else I've got, but yeah, this probably is. Probably is. Especially as a lot of typewriters, word processors I should say, they had some level of PC compatibility to try and make them, keep them more relevant and all the rest of it. So here's, oh dear, oh, it's all falling to pieces now. We've got bits coming off. Right, so yeah, that looks fairly standard. Oh, there's some writing there. What does that say? Okay, Horizon. What is that? Okay, that's weird. How do we get that? Right, I'm going to have to get this off so I can read that properly. I just caught sight of something that's looked a bit odd. So let's take that. Let's take that off. I love it when you find these sort of random things, notes from engineers or whatever, you know, or even the manufacturing, you know, the person on the assembly line. But this is a bit more personal, I think. Right, let's move that out of the way. It says here, Horizon, stolen disc, P- from Lone ML Rick, 23rd of August 1989. So yeah, so Rick stole a disc. Naughty Rick. Okay. Anyway, so here's the floppy unit. It is an old school device, there's no doubt about that. But it's actually branded OEM. It is. So the disc itself is branded OEM. That's going to make it a bugger to find. If you type OEM into a search engine, you're not going to find a manufacturer called OEM. But there we go. So OEM. I'm going to write this down so I've got a log of it. OEM MD. Was it 353? 353. Well, as I said before, the condition of this looks pretty good. What I love about it is obviously the chassis is in amazing condition, but you see here you've got the drive ident is easy. Is available there straight away. It's actually pretty cool. Now I don't know whether it work. I obviously haven't powered any of it up, so but that's going to be for another time. Now, for completeness, we've got to have a look inside here, haven't we? Really, come on. I mean, you know, this is where the big stuff goes on, and that looks like it might have cracked down there, and there's a missing screw there, which is never an encouraging sign, but there we go. Yeah, it's almost certainly, I can feel in there there's this power thing. It's weird that they've got the power supply in there, but I suppose in some ways it's logical. You think of a little telly or whatever, they're going to have power supplies built in, and really the 12 volt and the 5 volt line is not doing a great deal. You know, that's pretty. I see what it is. So if you look down there, there's a hole in there, and that hole goes to that thing, which is the connection to the base of the monitor. You should be able to take this base bit off. There we go. That's what it's for. There we go. It's a lot easier to mess with, and I'll be able to clean that. Oops. Clean that a lot better. There's nothing particularly original on there. I'll just put it in the dishwasher maybe. On a cool setting. You don't want to put it on a warm setting because they won't like it. So there's one. Yeah, that's the power connector that I was telling you about. This is one screw that's remaining. The other two have disappeared. Not sure I like the sound of that. There we go. I'm not entirely sure I'm going to be able to power this up anyway. Let alone, well, I'm not sure I want to power it up. I'm not sure I want to glow in the dark. So this is the rather weird connector for composite video, and that's the power output. So let's move this that way. Does the top now come off? No. So that's now loose there. Is it loose? It's not really loose, is it? Is that? Oh, that's not. Maybe that's not cracked. Maybe that's a back plate. Yeah, I think it's a back plate. Okay. So let me find my friendly little spudger. It's the plastic one, so we try and reduce the amount of damage we're going to do. Yeah, there's something going on there. Oh dear. Yeah. Come on, let's go. Oh yes. Oh, something moved. Is that the whole top bit? It did, yeah. The whole top bit moved. So you can see there's something moving there. So I wonder whether that is actually. It's always a problem with these old machines because the plastics have kind of had it. So you've got to be really careful. It's very easy to break things. So we've got that back screw off. Oh, there we go. Something went clunk. Yeah, there we go. If we can lever that bit out and then move that round that way and lever this one. And with the screen, it's probably completely useless anyway because it's it looks like it's got extraordinary burn-in. You can almost read the text. Okay, so usual kind of soot build up on there. That's about normal. Oh dear, this is discoloured. Obviously that's the heat coming off the power supply, I would imagine. So what else we got? Well, that's very neat. That's actually really quite neat. Now the flyback transformer is rusty. Oh dear, yeah, that's rusty as old Nick, that is. Oh, that's not good. Not sure I like that. Yeah, so you can see here there's a lot of rust on the flyback transformer. So that's probably, well, you know, it probably works, but it's whether you're brave enough to start it up. So this is the power supply unit. So it's pretty standard power supply with a fairly sizable transformer. That's all going to be DC-ness going on in there. So that's odd. Interesting. So the socket for the video is actually that. So it's got 3 pins on the socket. In fact, it's got more than that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's got 5 pins on the socket. Look at this. So maybe this monitor can take a composite signal, or sorry, can take a composite, but it can also take maybe a other signal levels, a sync signal, horizontal and vertical sync, that sort of thing, to improve quality. As is, this is almost certainly just a composite video connector. What's odd, there's only 2 pins there, but there's 3 there. I guess to, you know, to seat it better, not sure. Okay, so let's have a look around there. So the tube itself looks okay. The anode cap, it's a bit dirty, but it's not too bad. I've seen a lot worse, I've got to say. A lot worse. So, what does that say? Not much. Clinton Taiwan Corporation. Yeah, I bet you this tube, I mean the tube is worn out because you can see the burning on it. But this will probably clean up okay. What I do worry about is that. That's probably not going to be too happy. But you never know, put some cleaner on it, it might clean up. There's a lot of crap that's built up on there, so ideally I want to take this board out. That's the display board. I like how it's separated out, so the DC power supply is one side and then you've got the display circuitry the other side, and it is pretty separated actually by the look of it, because the display there, so I can see there, this display thing, the composite, when I mentioned about that multiple ports, is not that. You can see it's only connected in 2 places, so that's the composite video, which disappears into this. So that's the composite video signal there, and that's it. I think they've used that socket because maybe it's firmer with that, I'm not sure. But there seems to be reasonable separation. So literally this is the power supply that does its thing, and where's the mains? Mains is coming in down there, and that disappears somewhere, disappears up there, disappears over there somewhere. So there's a secondary power supply somewhere. Where the hell is it? Don't know. That comes in there like that. So that's where the power supply goes. I know what's going on. So that well, yes, of course. So the power supply, the power socket comes in there, goes down there, and that's where the switch is. So that switch is actually a main switch. Right, okay, fine. That makes sense. And then you've got the DC voltages being created by this thing and dumped out of that funny little cable. And then there's some DC voltages coming out of there. It might even just be 12 volts actually. Yeah, by the look of it, there's only one there. So this is probably the 12 volts that come out of the power supply to power the rest of the television, and then all the other voltages are created on this board, not on this board. That would make sense. It's rather a dodgy, very dodgy looking thing there. Not sure whether how well you can see that, but that that connector there is covered in tape. The tape is fossilized, and I don't know where that goes. Disappears. It's actually what I guess is probably the 5 volts coming off this board. Is it actually measured? Oh, it actually tells you. So it says it's the 5 volt there. So the 5 volts supply to the processor. Now all the other gubbins. It's a really bad connector. I think what's happened is this has been opened before, hence the missing screws, and that connector's been broken off at some point. Oh yeah, it's actually crumbling. That's bits of it. Look at that. That's bits of it there. So that's crumbling, and that's been replaced at some point to provide the 5 volts back to the unit. Okay, so situation report. Now I don't know whether I want to power this up as is. I might have to just for a laugh, but I think what would be interesting is trying to do some diagnostics. Now I know that definitely is 5 volts, and I bet you the other one, if I take this power supply out and reverse engineer it, I would be surprised if that was not actually marked as 12 volts on the, since the 5 volt is marked, maybe the 12 volts is as well. Right, bear with me a sec, I'm just going to grab a little torch. Yeah, it says 12 volts. That was a good guess, wasn't it? So we've got 12 volts and we've got 5 volts. I mean, you can kind of guess these things. If you've got a what looks like a fairly standard floppy drive, then the floppy drive is going to need 5 volts and 12 volts. So that's pretty standard. There's nothing else on that board that looked particularly weird. There's only 3 connectors on here. We've established that. So I think we stand a chance of powering that other unit up by using a standard power supply, maybe a PC power supply or something like that, with the 12 volts and the 5 volt rail. Attach a composite monitor to it and hope for the best. Now we don't know what the frequency of this is, but now I know what the model is. I'm going to do some more investigation, try and figure out what's going on, and then there'll be a follow-up video where hopefully we can power the thing up, power the board up certainly. I'm going to give this a clean because it's absolutely filthy, and you never know, if I can power this up then so be it. I would say that its utility is limited because I haven't got anything to plug into there, and I'm assuming that is the keyboard interface, because without a keyboard you weren't going to process many words. How is that? It's a point actually. Is any of that actually labelled? So no, none of the actual ports are labelled, which is a bit annoying. But I mean, that's the floppy, that's the power for the floppy, that's the power for the thing. That must be keyboard. There's nothing else it can possibly be. I haven't seen any other sockets. There's no other bits and pieces floating around in here that would suggest that there's a data cable missing. The only cable is that one and the composite video cable, and that's not going to be multiplexed for all sorts of other things like keyboards and stuff. So there we go. That's it for now. Fascinating stuff. Old school tech. I'll just leave you with a lovely gaze at this monitor. Now, can you see that? I think you can see that. Let me zoom in, and yeah, you can almost read the text. In fact, you can read the text. What is that? Edit file, print something, delete file, copy file. You can actually bloody read it. That's extraordinary. That is some of the worst burning I've ever seen in my life. This is not on, trust me. This is actually what the shadow mask, what's left of the shadow mask. Anyway, that's fun. So even if we did get it working, chances are it's scrap anyway. But there you go. That's it for now. So join me back next time, and we'll do some more digging around. Hopefully we'll either we'll get the board working. This may or may not go bang. You never know. It's worth a try. See you later. Cheers.